Welcome to a real talk with Evrythingfay. I went live earlier this morning and didn't really like how it went. I noticed that I paid too much attention to the jibber jabber in the comments that really wasn't pertaining to what I was talking about, and figured I would go live again. And this for me is confirmation that, and I'm at work right now. So if you see my eyes going and wandering, it's because I'm at work. This is confirmation for me that I needed to come back live again and share this story and share this testimony. So, what I'm going to be talking about is how difficult it is, and I'm not going to be looking at the comments. I will say hi if anybody jumps in, but I'm not going to pay attention to the comments that much unless it's pertaining to what I'm talking about. I've realized that um, we tend to hang on or to hold on to things that we already know no longer serve us or that no longer align with the person who we are becoming or where we are headed. So my question to you is, have you ever had to let go of something or someone, not because they were bad to you, but because they were just no longer aligned with the person that you were becoming? And it's funny how I'm talking about that now. I replied to a comment from a story that I posted, and the followers said that they're happy that I don't even remember, and I don't want to look for it because I don't want to get distracted. But basically, I posted that, your story is not over. If God could, conquer the grave, that, your story is still there and things can still happen for you. And the follower replied and said, thank you, but they don't see that happening for them. And I replied and I said, could you please explain? And they replied back and explained and basically said that they feel exhausted, they've given it their all, they've, went above and beyond, they do this for everybody else, and nothing is happening for them. And I basically, said to them, like, of course something is still happening for you. God woke you up this morning. God gave you breath. Why would you think that God is still not working in your favor, that God is still not working your story? Not because what you're expecting to happen is not happening right now doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Sometimes God needs you to be obedient. Sometimes we hear his call, we hear his silent talk, but because we want to do things on our own, or we figure that we have the answers to everything, that we tune it out and we don't hear it. And that's why sometimes we don't get to where we need to get to, or we don't get the things that God has for us because we're being disobedient. It's just like how when we already know that we're hanging on to things or hanging on to people that no longer serve us just because we want to remain hopeful, or just because you've extended them grace upon grace upon grace. It's not a bad thing to be hopeful, and it's not a bad thing to extend grace. I think the issue is when it's continued. You continually extend grace. You continually are hopeful for the same individual. I can talk for myself. Um, I've I'm that person who is always going above and beyond for somebody else, who's always running themselves dry for other people. And it's not until it hits me that I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm always on E. I'm always on empty. Or when I'm going through certain things, nobody's ever there to me. Welcome to roadblocks. That nobody's ever there for me. And I could speak for myself. I saw the signs. I definitely did saw the signs. Some people want to call them red flags. Um, I have the spirit of discernment, so God discerned it into my spirit, and I saw the signs. But I was hopeful, as I should be, and I extended grace, as I should. But it's when it became a pattern of you always needing me, you always running to me. But whenever I need you, you're unavailable. Whenever I want to do things, you're unavailable. And I thought that, you know, and I'm talking about multiple friendships over the years. For me, for some, I thought that we were in a sisterhood, that we were tight, until I realized that it wasn't a sisterhood. It was beneficial to you to have me in your circle because I was rooting for you or I would help you elevate. But in turn, when I needed you to be there for you to elevate to elevate me or to push me the same way I was doing it for you, I realized that it was a friendship of convenience. That, yeah, you made yourself available, but you weren't present and there for me. Rahini, hi, Rahini. Augie Sali or Ragi Oli. Sorry for the pronunciation. Hi, what's up? I'm talking about how, we hang on to things that no longer serve us and that we see the signs. And I just want to encourage you that you feel it in your gut. And, when you feel it in your gut, you already have the answer. You already know what needs to be done. Don't delay. The more you delay, the more pain you cause yourself. And I was just having a brief conversation with somebody, and sometimes we want what's the word I'm looking for? We want closure, and I've been there. I've been in relationships and friendships where things have ended, and I didn't get the closure I wanted, and and I was reaching out, but why? But why? And in the end, they don't really. I'm finding you. Are you from Florida? No, I'm in Canada. I feel like when we yearn for closure, especially when the other party is just being unavailable or not willing to give it to you, that you hurt yourself even more. You already feel it in your stomach. You already feel it in your chest that things are not working out, but you're being hopeful. At some point, you're going to have to think about yourself. You're going to have to love yourself and do what's best for you. And sometimes God removes people from our lives because He already saw the signs. He saw the signs, but we think that we know everything and we know what's best for us. If God took the time to put butterflies in your stomach or allow you to feel some type of way against a certain type of thing or somebody, it was for a reason. Wow, my cousin is also in Canada. They work up in Canada. Where in Canada? So that's basically what I was telling my friend, that right now you're on a journey of becoming the best version of yourself. And sometimes it's not everybody that's meant to be on that journey with you. It was also a hard lesson for me to learn that people come into your path, and sometimes while we want them to be there forever, God was like, I didn't place them in your life forever. I placed them in your life for them to either teach you something, for you to either teach them something. And once that lesson is dealt and done with, y'all have to move on. It's not that you can't remain friends, but or in a relationship, but God was like, this is not your final destination. I have more in store for you. He's putting you through the test. He's working you so that when you're ready for the desire of your heart, that He's put you through the work and He knows that, when He finally hands you your blessing, you're going to be able to handle it. And so never be afraid to let go of things that no longer serve you. They end up causing you more pain than anything. And you see the signs, you feel the signs. You think it's in a company. There's so many companies in Canada. You want to be a little bit more specific? What part of Canada? Canada is so big. You don't know the name of the place, but do you know where in Canada? For myself, this time around, when I really realized that things started to become one sided, that's when I knew that, what? Everything that I thought that we were building, we, I thought we were a team. I thought it was a covenant, but it wasn't a covenant. You were available, but not present. It was conditional. It was transactional for the other person. And when it become one-sided, I was like, all right, I finally see it now. There's no more signs that I need to see. I'm not saying that I can't be your friend. I'm just saying that now it's time for me to put myself first. Because if we are friends or if we're in a relationship and we're not equally elevating ourselves and I'm continually elevating and you want to say things like, don't leave me where I am or don't leave me hanging, but when I need you, I can't count on you, then why are you in my circle? Why are we even friends? Why are we in a relationship? At the age that I am in now, friendships are sacred. I don't just want to be friends with every and anybody. If you're not going to elevate me and I can't equally elevate you and it's just going to be a thing of convenience, listen, then let it be a thing of convenience. I right now don't have time for that. I'm on a journey of elevation and I feel that it should be mutual. I don't know English very much. I try to understand a little. Where are you from? I saw so many people are protecting in Canada. This is real or fake news. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't really watch the news. There's so much negativity going on in the news. Right now, with everything that's going on in the world, all you got to do is open your Bible, say a 1-2 prayer, and live every day like it is your last because you just never know. Because if today was your last day, would you be happy and pleased with the last day that you live? Would you be happy and pleased with the person that you are? Would you be happy and pleased with the journey that you're on, the person that you're becoming? While there's so much things going on in the world, we just have to pray for these people. Um, but the Bible said it. We're in a time of revelation. You're from India. Welcome. What time is it in India? It's almost 11 a.m. where I am. So right now I'm talking about, have you ever had to leave somebody that was a friend to you, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, or a wife, not because that they were bad, but because you guys were no longer on the same journey. You weren't elevating. That's the topic. Let's join in that topic. It's 10:27 p.m. Wow. It's evening for you. It's day for me. So the topic is, have you ever had to leave somebody behind, not because that they were bad to you, but because you guys just didn't align anymore. You weren't on the same journey of growth. That's what we're talking about today. I just feel that, right now, time is limited, time is sacred. And if I'm going to pour into you and invest into you, that I want the same for me. For me personally, I think maybe it was a thing of needing to be seen. And you know what? God already sees me. So if somebody else doesn't want to recognize my worth or doesn't know my worth, I need not to worry because Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. I don't need nobody else to validate me. God has already done that for me. He has told me who I am, where I'm going, and who I'm going to become. And if you're going to be in my circle and you don't know that I'm of value to you, then you just don't align, and that's okay. You go bye bye, I go bye bye. And if we meet back again, we say hi. But if we're not going to be on the same, you know, continued growth, it's not going to work. I also want to go to Canada. That's great. What do you want to go to Canada for? While you're on here, go ahead and hit that like button so YouTube knows that you're enjoying the content and that you're liking this chat with Everything Fake. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you know when your girl uploads. Okay, Mr. Oli, go ahead, hit the like button. Tap the screen. Hit the red button, the heart. I want to see you hit the red button and then we could talk about Canada a little bit more. Let me see you give me a heart and a follow. Engage with the topic. But really and truly, honor your loss and embrace your growth. And don't ever allow anybody else to make you feel that you are less than. Never. I know for me that that release revealed my rebirth, and the person that I was just last year, which was how many months ago? 6 now, is not even the person that I am today. The things that I tolerated in December, I no longer tolerate them as we walk into May. I have one life to live and I need to make myself happy. And I've realized that, you know what, while God put me on this earth for a purpose and on purpose, that He also didn't put me here to be a clown. You know, that He told me to be wise, and He told me to not be afraid to let go of things that no longer serve me. It's just like when you have a closet full of clothes and the tags are still on them and you haven't worn them in months. Why are you still hanging on to them? Donate them. We like to hang on to things and let dust accumulate. They no longer serve us. For what purpose? Somebody else could use them. You know, if you realize that you no longer aligned and they were just in your life for you to elevate them, allow them to go and spread what you bless them with somebody else and let you continue your journey of blessing other people. Always remember that God put you here for a purpose and on purpose. Canada, mostly weather is cooler. I am right. It depends where you have. So you have one more subscriber. Thank you very much for subscribing, Ogi Ogi Oli. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Let me know if I'm saying it right. Canada is so big. If you have Google right now, open Canada. It depends what part of Canada that you're in. There's parts in Canada where there's no winter. There's part in Canada where there's winter. Where I am, I have winter. But now it's spring. So now it's hot. But if you're willing to come to Canada as a tourist, depending on where you want to go, you have to be ready to embrace the cold. It's just like if I were to come to India, I have to be ready to embrace the temperature that's there. So, what do you want to do in Canada? All right. Well, I am very much pleased with this version of my test live because I was able to get my message out and, not really focus on what's going on in the chitter chatter. I'm going to repeat myself again this week. You know what? Before I repeat myself again with the affirmation that I want to leave you with, this week I challenge you, be bold. Write a letter to yourself. No, write a letter to the thing that you had to let go, or write a letter to the person that you had to let go of. And it's not a letter that you need to send, but then turn around and write a letter to the person that you're becoming. And then honor your loss and embrace your growth. Be bold and do that this week. And remember that you releasing what no longer serve you will bring forth your regrowth. You just have to be willing to let go of what no longer serves you. While it may be hard and difficult to do, slow and steady wins the race. It's easier said than done, and I know it all too well because I have been there. And I'm only here saying this now so passionately because I have done the work and I continue to do the work. Had this been maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I'd probably be feeling and saying something differently. But I know better and I think that we should do better. And so I just want to encourage you, pardon me, with what has worked for me. It may work for you, it may not. Take it with a grain of salt. Little disclaimer, I'm just here to share my story and for us to learn from one another. So, with that said, I'm going to leave you with honor your loss and embrace your growth. Until the next live or until I drop the next video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you know when your girl uploads or when she goes live. Thank you to Ogi's Oli for the subscription. And thank you for the chitter chatter. On that note, y'all, have a blessed day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.